Hi, welcome to this live reading. Uh-oh. Give me a minute. I forgot my little tablet. Okay. I started figuring out I could use this tablet so I could track the chat, so I don't want to forget about that this time. I want to make sure I can do that in case people have questions or just so I can interact with you. I like that. Thank you for being here. Just get this pulled up. I had fun getting ready for this reading tonight, so I think it's going to be a good one. Hopefully kind of funny. There's been a lot of interesting energy coming through for me about just like imposters of your energy, like karmic theft of creative work and ideas and frenemies and all kinds of stuff like that. So one of the themes that came through for this reading tonight was sort of like trend and coolness and things of that nature. So let me just find this on here. Sorry, I'm distracted. I meant to have this ready to go and didn't get it going in time. There we are. Okay, I can see the chat now and I've got it all pulled up and ready to go. I can't tell yet if anyone's in here or not, but I'm not typically waiting for people to show up in the live. I usually kind of just get going, because in the very beginning I would just go live randomly whenever, like, I'm going to try out a live stream. So in that case, and I don't have a ton of I have a lot of subscribers compared to when I started, but I've done a lot of live readings where nobody caught it, right, where it just was viewed after the fact. And but I have been enjoying when people show up here and are in the chat and watching the live and engaging with me. I find it really fun. Hey, someone's in here. Hello. Hi. Sending you love, Yabuteku. And hi, user 369. Thanks for being here. So, the way that these lives tend to go is that I'll just do a general collective layout, but I have been answering questions at points near the very end, just based on timing and if I'm feeling maxed out or not. But I have asked a couple or answered a couple questions for people in the last couple readings. And as I was saying before folks maybe logged in, the theme was coolness, but coolness and like I'm 51, okay? So I'm not as preoccupied with whether I'm cool or not anymore, but I'm not immune to that. Like, especially if I'm around 20 somethings, like there's some part of my ego that takes over and wants to make sure they still think that I'm cool, which is, what it is what it is. I'm not really that worried about being cool anymore, but apparently I still am, because if I get around a group of people that seem cool, I start to become preoccupied with coolness, right? So, hi, how are you? Hi, Flores, nice to meet you. Yeah, thank you for the comments on my body. I dress this way for a reason, because I'm a Scorpio rising and I'm sex positive as a feminist. So thank you for the comments on my slutty appearance. So the ideas for this reading, it kind of started off as coolness, but it's the kind of coolness. It was interesting because when it was kind of channeling as I was on my walk this morning, I was like, well, I don't even know how to talk about that. Like, it's the kind of coolness that comes full circle. So like someone will take something super uncool, start using it, and then because they are cool, it becomes cool, right? So it's like the person has like the X factor of coolness within them, I guess. And then if that person has that, they can take something uncool and then suddenly everybody thinks it's cool, right? So the only examples I could think of Where when Kendrick Lamar last year wore those Nike Shocks, right? Like those are like uncool sneakers. They haven't really been considered cool. But then when he wore them at that performance, it just like everybody was all of a sudden Nike Shocks, right? Like, and it was also acknowledged like how smart and funny it was of a move that he wore those. There were a couple other examples that I thought of. Oh, so a lot of people probably won't know this reference. It's from my generation. Judy Blume was an author that wrote children's books, and she wrote a book called Deanie. And it was a book about, I think she was 13 and she gets diagnosed with scoliosis, but she's one of the most popular girls in school. And she's so popular that, like, any move she makes would be emulated. So at one point, when she finds out she has to wear this brace to correct her scoliosis, like, what kid wants to wear a back brace? Nobody, right? Like, that's gonna hurt your coolness factor, especially in middle school, if you have to go around with this weird brace that keeps your neck in place and everything. And so she's struggling with it, right? She's a preteen story, Deanie is her name, the title of the book. And at some point she gets upset and she takes all of her beautiful long hair and like just hacks it off, like a hack job kind of. Well, then these kids at school start hacking their hair off too. And so what was this moment of like anger and, deciding like, if I can't look how I want to look, I'm just going to cut all my hair off. Well, and then that gets imitated. So there's something about that that's going to maybe come out in this reading. Like, not even trying to be cool, but then because you're this cool person, you have coolness that you give something. I don't know. I hope you're following what I'm saying. And then there's also another layer to it, and then I'll get into the reading, which is when people, and believe me, I'm not laughing at or mocking this. I just am admiring it as a phenomenon, I think, or saying this with endearment. But it's when you're impoverished as a person, but you want to trick your ride out, right? And so you go and like do all of these, like, I don't know, whatever, like get really nice rims and do like a pinstripe kit on your car or whatever, but it's it's like a Ford Escort or something, right? And a Ford Escort was like it's like a Kia Sorento, right? It was like the economy car for me when I was a young adult. I had one for a while. And I remember going rafting with my sister, and one of their friends there also drove an Escort, but it was all like tricked out. Like he had it lowered and he had like an Oakley sticker in the, like, it was like what you would do to a nice ride to look hip, except it was this Ford Escort. And this guy, I don't even think realized that he had like kind of pimped out this ride that doesn't really, but then someone else might do that, like Kendrick Lamar, and then suddenly everybody wants a Ford Escort, right? So there's something about it, right? Like, and I don't know if coolness is just like an X factor that some people have and other people don't, whatever, right? So that's the story. Those are the themes. And then I pulled some tiles ahead of the spread too, and the words that came out were Queen, Chip, and I took that to mean California Highway Patrol, chips, right? That's what they're called. I'm not a cop lover in this channel, for what it's worth. Aggro, deer, like the animal, rodeo, and then queer. And for queer, I took that to mean don't forget to celebrate and acknowledge that it's Pride Month. And I want to tell everybody happy Pride out there, in the US anyways, and I was glad that came through as a reminder. But I also got kind of a theme about agriculture and deer, and the deer I took to mean not the actual animal deer, but a John Deere. So there might be somebody who's kind of country that like works a farm that's going to come through in this collective that has a John Deere and is in agriculture, right? Those are symbols of agriculture. Agro came through. But also queen and deer are a symbol of the Virgin Mary, and maybe Jesus as well. But that could be because she's sort of like the Queen Holy Mother, right? The Virgin Mary. So those were the words that came through. coolness, and then we were sort of talking about like imposter friendships and whatnot. So there might be somebody that's been imitating you, or there's imitation in play here that could be like the theft of ideas. Let's see. Let's just get into this and see what comes out. I pulled some cards, honestly, ahead of this that I was going to leave, but they seemed so, like, perfectly drawn that I was like, people aren't going to believe that I actually shuffled and drew these at random. They're going to think that it was too perfect because they were too perfect. So I've just decided if they're really this perfect of messaging is going to come through, it'll come through again. I don't want it to seem like I'm cherry picking cards to create a theme for my readings, so I decided against it. But they were pretty spot on in a way that even had me kind of bugging a little bit. So I hope you're doing well out there. My name is Cynthia. I've been reading cards since I was 15, and I'm also a clinical social worker in private practice. And I've been doing live readings now every Friday evening. And I'm going to keep doing them as long as it seems fun and worthwhile to do. I like doing live readings. So what are the themes, right? What are the themes for this reading? We kind of had coolness, possibly some agriculture. I don't know what else. Let's see. If you've been watching more than one reading, you know I'm just trying to learn this shuffle too. I'm not that great at it yet. I'm getting there. But it's still taking me a little bit to learn it and get all the right moves down. Oh boy, that's way too many. I'm gonna take those. Yeah, I'm not good enough at this shuffle yet to get flyers, so I'll just go ahead and do it this way. I don't want to waste a bunch of time making everyone watch me try to learn how to shuffle. What are going to be the main themes for this layout? What's going on for this collective? What do we need to know? On the split, we have endings in reverse. So that's interesting. Expectation. So that's kind of got a waiting energy. Ascending. Sweetheart in the reverse. Divine masculine. Divination in the reverse. So maybe somebody high honor military person in this as well as in the Kipper, I think. Or no, there are two separate cards in Kipper that denote high honor and then military. But I like the intuitive Kev's deck here acknowledges the two, right? The two themes are related, and at least in the U.S. Get some good smoke going here. I've got some cedar, copal, myrrh, and juniper going in here. So it looks like somebody was spying. The sweetheart in the reverse was using divination work to spy on something to do with this masculine, and there's been like a waiting around kind of energy for someone here, and it endings in reverse, which to me means beginnings. But now I'm going to go ahead and get into this. Like, what's this about? What's divination in reverse? What does that mean? What does divination in reverse mean? Why is that here? Is this that someone's been kind of doing divination work to spy into this masculine's life, or what's going on with that? What's the divination work in reverse here? Health concern and mature woman in the reverse. and Jezebel. So I was wondering about an STD coming out, and I kind of feel like that might be the case here with this woman in reverse who's kind of a Jezebel, and there's now a health concern. I don't know what divination has to do with that, but maybe someone was using divination work to find out about somebody's health status or relationship status. It might have been this sweetheart in the reverse. It's actually a Jezebel. It could be a group of women, because we've got multiple feminine cards here. Sweetheart in reverse, mature woman in reverse, and Jezebel. I don't know if they all mean the same person or what. But regardless, this masculine is surrounded by a lot of karmic people. That's clear. And it's slowed him down, and it's got him in a place where he may have lost some respect because of his involvement with these people. I don't know about endings. What's this? What's with endings here in the reverse? What does that mean? Endings in the reverse. Endings in the reverse. Karma. That strikes me as this person's choice to use this group of people to spy on this masculine, it's bringing in a karmic ending. It's the ending of a karmic cycle. So now let's get into it. Let's see what's happening. Like, is it an ending of a karmic cycle in a good way, or what do you need to know? What does this have to do? This is probably your divine masculine if you're a divine feminine, and also just, it doesn't have to be gendered. There are, people who identify as femme who are in masculine energy, right? And who may be the masculine energy in their relationship. What else is important to know about this situation? Someone was kind of looking into this divine masculine's life. You might be this ascending feminine and you're waiting to hear from this masculine. I don't know. Let's see. What else is important to know about this? What's important to know about this current situation? Your energy soothes and is a gift to this world. That speaks to the fact that you're an ascended feminine here, or an ascended person. You may not be. I say that because this ascending card is illustrated with a feminine energy. So you're not in this karmic clique here. This is a toxic energy of group of people that dealings have been so shady that I feel like it's impacted this masculine in a negative way. He may have lost some respect because of his affiliation with this group. Sing to clear your throat chakra and lift your spirits. So communication, or you may need personal work on your throat chakra to make sure. I don't know what that has to do with this, but you are a truth teller. There's that. So these people are in reverse energy and conniving Jezebel reverse people causing health problems and whatnot. So they're not truth tellers. They're not truth speakers. They're manipulative people, right? And you are wanting particularly to keep your throat chakra clear right now so that your messaging and what you say is considered trustworthy, right? And climb the burning ladder. I don't know why you would have to climb the burning ladder, because this is not your problem. So maybe the masculine is the one catching this. I don't really know. If you're a divine masculine and you're the one catching this, then your energy soothes and is a gift to the world. So what are you doing fucking around with these karmic people? That would be my question, right? I mean, everybody gets lost on their way. Climb the burning ladder, it strikes me as that it's going to be a challenge for this masculine to disentangle himself from this clusterfuck of people who are bad actors, who use flying monkeys, who have him caught up in a karmic cycle. Harness the power of poison to heal. There's no way out but through. You learn what you're made of when you go through a challenge like this, or a relationship scenario where you're not respected, and you come out the other side more healed and more empowered. So that might be, actually, that's not what I meant to grab. I meant to grab tarot. So now what are we going to do here? We're going to pull more cards to see what is the overall situation. Where is the energy headed? We've kind of pinpointed that this masculine's embroiled in was embroiled in a group of people that were pretty toxic and dealing in some shady things, and the least of which, in my opinion, is probably STDs, but I don't judge. I'm not trying to slam anyone that has a history of having an STD. I mean, they're super common. But this is all a lot of toxic energy with this reverse. It would be someone, in this case, it's not saying that you're a toxic person if you have an STD. What it's getting at is that this person may have been behaving unethically, like knowing they had an STD and then not disclosing that to their partner, right? Or not taking care of their own health. So then they're, you know, putting other people's health at risk if they're sexually active. Okay, that's the kind of vibe we're on here. We're not into shaming people for having an STD. That's not how I operate. So where's this situation going, and what do you need to know as the viewer here? I'm not picking up on the fake friend, fake coolness factor here, which is interesting. I don't know where that was coming from then. The Hierophant in the reverse. So that to me, I don't know. I typically don't read reversals, but it struck me in the reverse right away. So I think I'm going to allow that to be. Gosh, I'm picking up on a lot of the same energy. The last 5 readings or so, I would say, I feel like I keep picking up on the same theme or the same group of people or the same situation, which is not unheard of. If you watch tarot, you see that happen a lot on people's channel. Okay, so there's definitely a toxic triangle here in love with this 3 of Cups next to this priest in the reverse. It strikes me as somebody being a bad actor, like we talked about, this masculine being surrounded by toxic people. They might have an interest in his love life for some reason beyond just a third party, right? There might be other people involved in this scenario that are invested in this masculine's love life for whatever reason. A Queen of Cups in the reverse is coming through that may have worked with a Hierophant or in the reverse. And so this Queen of Cups in the reverse is definitely picking up on this dark feminine energy. That's for sure a sweetheart in the reverse is a Queen of Cups in the reverse. That's someone who seems like, oh, they're so sweet. And really they're manipulative as fuck, right? And like mind games, play with your emotions, manipulate your emotions, use things that you've told them in moments of vulnerability against you, right? Things like that. And then the Lovers in the reverse. So there's been a problem. Speaks to that waiting for a choice to be made. The clock is ticking while someone's trying to make a decision about what they're going to do about the situation. The Lovers in the reverse to me speaks to this expectation card and the fact that there isn't a choice being made. There's like some type of a stall out, and that's here in the very center of things with the Hanged One. But the Hanged One in this reading is coming out in the reverse. And so I'm not someone who typically reads reversals, but I've opened up to them with Intuitive's Kev's deck, and now it's like they're flooding into this reading. So I'm just going to try to go with it. The Hanged One in reverse means to me that this is all about to break apart. This sort of masculine that's been kind of stuck in limbo or being manipulated or being worked against by this kind of toxic group dynamic. It's breaking up now. This whole situation is starting to like break up. There's a vulnerability, though, here of a need to protect yourself. And I think this is for you, Divine Masculine. I haven't read for Divine Masculine in a while. I used to have a lot of Divine Masculine messages come through, and then that kind of tapered off for a while, but I feel more and more like I'm reading for a masculine here that's needing to guard himself. because this has been a really difficult situation that he's felt very trapped within and powerless to do anything about. Although the feeling of powerlessness with the Hanged One is not accurate, really, because a Hanged One is usually in this situation by design, like they've placed themselves there either to learn something or to go through a rite of passage or whatever. So he's not a victim, okay? This divine masculine here, whether this is you, the viewer, or whether we're reading for your masculine, he hasn't been victimized. He was voluntarily in this trapped situation for a while for whatever reason. It's starting to come through here that maybe there was spell work used with this Queen of Wands in reverse and this Hierophant in reverse. And we spoke about that there was some manipulation happening around this masculine. And it's almost like he was the one in the dark. Like everybody, the feminines around him knew what was happening and he didn't for some reason. Like he was being kept in the dark. I don't know. Yeah, Ace of Wands in the reverse. He might be, someone's worried they have an STD. This is not the type of reading I'm super interested in doing, but it's here. So I'm going to allow, I'm just going to keep going with it. I'm not going to try to control it. In his conscious mind, he's succeeding in getting out of this situation. You are, or this masculine is. You're pretty tired though, and you didn't come through it unscathed. You might have gotten sick at one point. One of these feminine energies might have given you an STD, okay? Or they may have said that someone had an STD, right? There might have been a rumor mill going around about an STD that was an attempt to slander someone, possibly. And then where energy is headed is an end of this conflict. What does that mean, though, exactly? An end of this masculine, I think, is what it's saying, being in so much conflict. Because if you can see this card, the Five of Swords in this deck is this lion is swallowing the swords himself. And so it might be the end of this masculine sabotaging himself and going ahead and moving out. So he's decided, I don't need to be the Hanged One for this group of people anymore, or a scapegoat, or at their mercy. I'm going to go ahead and free myself. That's kind of what I'm taking that to mean. What is this Five of Swords in the reverse? What does that mean? Oh, I see someone has a question. Hey, user 369. You're wondering if there's going to be any challenges or troubles in the future with your commercial business. Hi, Tammy. Hello. Oh, STD, user 369, is a sexually transmitted disease. Okay, so I know that's a little, it's kind of raunchy, but that's what we're talking about. So like herpes, simplex, HPV, sexually transmitted diseases. So let me, I'll get back to your question here. You're going to be wanting to know about business, if there's going to be troubles in the future for your business. So I'll ask that here after the end of this layout. So what was I saying now about this Five of Swords? What does it mean? I think it means an end to this conflict for this masculine, but let's just see. What does the Five of Swords mean? Yeah, he's going to be... hello, he's going to be going from this conflicted Five of Swords to a fucking emperor. Okay, so he's had a major wake-up call. You've been waiting on this, or someone's been waiting on this, and he's had a major wake-up call to where he's stepping into his power. So I congratulate you if you're this masculine, and if this is your masculine, get ready, because this person's not in this worried, strung up, I'm trapped, there's nothing I can do, what can I do, I've got to stay here. No, you don't. Well, he's figured it out. He doesn't have to stay embroiled with this group of people that are really shady and doing things like giving each other STDs and not, I don't know, right? Like I don't know what this group is about, but they're about deception, and they're about not above being using spell work on this masculine. This masculine is concerned about his reputation and respect that he's maybe earned in his life at this point by being involved with this dark circle of people. He's very sad. He's empowered, but he's sad about it as well. So he's stepping into his power, and he's also having to face some heartbreak, maybe about the situation, or just, you know, if you've been really fooled by a group of people, especially people that you really cared about, I could see that being really sorrowful. And he's in his head, so that's not very emperor type energy. He's moving out of being in his head and moving more into being in his heart. He has to feel what's going on in his heart. I don't know. I was kind of hoping more for this whole coolness imposter energy. That's okay. We'll go with this. What else about the Five of Swords and this Emperor? What is the deal? What is he so sorrowful about? What exactly? It's the end of conflict and him stepping back into his power. What else about that? Yeah, and away from this third-party situation that's here in the reverse, this Three of Cups, or sorry, it's not in the reverse, but it's next to some really toxic energy. So it's a toxic triangle. He's stepping out and away from the third-party situation. That's what's important to know. Twin Flame in the reverse, though. And this is where, oh my God, this is where it is. Just when I was saying I don't think this is going to come out, here it is. This person tried to pretend like they were this masculine's fated partner, okay? They faked this masculine out, or tried to. They tried to fake this person out by saying, I'm your soulmate, not her, not whatever, right? So this is where it's at. This is where that is. It's an imposter. It's a twin. I'm sorry. I'm just glad to see it come out. Just when I was like, I guess that's not going to be the theme, here it is. It's like, oh, she's a fake. That's what's going on. It happened at work. And that's maybe where some of the respect was lost in the workplace, right? Maybe. Yeah, black magic. Although that's ending because this person's like, I'm out of here. I'm not going to be a part of this toxic group anymore. Voodoo in the reverse, I guess. Like, it's not working anymore because this masculine stepped into, he's not in some kind of inner conflict anymore. Now he's in an empowered emperor status. He's not strung up in a conflict anymore. He's still needing to defend himself from this feminine's dark workings against him. But it's that kind of thing. It's an imposter. This feminine or feminines that have been around him are imposter energies. Yeah. They used less magic, is what it looks like to me, to keep this masculine hooked in longer than maybe would have been good for him. What else do we need to know about this situation? He's stepping out of it. He's doing the work that he needs to clean up the situation. He's going to have to do some healing because he's still nursing some disappointment. He's climbing the burning ladder. He might be going towards a true divine feminine or a real twin flame and not a fake, right? What happened in this situation? What is this all about? Yeah, again, here's this loss of respect. He is involved. He's maybe worried about hurting you. That's where the Sorrow Three of Swords card came from, is that maybe the delay has hurt you. Yeah, he's worried about the fact that he hurt you. He's also dealing with the fact that he's lost some respect in some way. I don't know how or why, but it's here. And that's on his mind heavily. That's that Nine of Swords, is he's concerned about what happened to his reputation. There might be a legal situation that's wrapping up here as well, possibly over a house. He might have been embroiled in some financial situation with this group that had to do with a house, or that there's still some legal proceedings unfolding. A new beginning, or a child with a feminine, with a divine feminine. Here's the main feminine. Now that this court situation's over, he's wanting to move towards you for a new beginning, but he's worried. He's worried about the sadness that you've gone through. What about this hope card? He might be worried that it's too good to be true. That that there couldn't possibly be, he might just be worried that his hopes of coming together with you are not, what am I trying to say? That it's misplaced, that he shouldn't hope for it because he's hurt you. He's worried that it's too late, or that he did something wrong, or that it's just a dream to come together with you, possibly. He's having trouble managing his thoughts. We had that Nine of Swords come through here. He's really in his head a lot. He's in his head about the entire mess that he's been through. Understandably, because this was a major deal. It wasn't just someone deceiving him. It's like a group of women, which is kind of crazy to think about. And maybe this dark priest here as well, this high priest in the reverse. And theft, yeah. Someone was really working against this masculine and keeping him stuck. You've been waiting, and that's what he's worried about, is that you gave up, or that he hurt you too much, or whatever. So what do you need to know? What does the person watching this need to know about the situation? There was a fake that tried to act like you. If you're a divine feminine catching this is what you need to know about what's happening for your masculine. What is the person in the collective that this applies to? What do you need to know about this situation with this divine masculine? There's a divine feminine represented here. There's worry, though, that it's like he has hope that he could come back together with you, and then he worries that he's just in denial, that it's already too late, or that he's done too much damage. He's having a hard time controlling his moods. What do you need to know? To be fair in the reverse and flexible in the upright. Card 38. Injustice and inequity are part of life, but they do not have to define your experience. This is a time when you may observe an injustice righted and fairly redressed. Well, that's what he's working towards. Perhaps you come to the rescue of someone else, or are called to answer for a personal slight. You will be amazed by the sense of power that surges through you when you stand up for yourself and others. Well, that's what this masculine is doing. This card also indicates a good time to advocate for others who are less fortunate. Choose your cause and commit to it, because you can make a difference. One thing is for certain: if fairness is your intention, the situation will be resolved for the highest good of all concerned through acts of kindness, empathy, and courage. So that's important to know. Everybody's in this divine energy wants kindness and ascended energy. They don't want backstabbing, spreading around STDs, destroying someone's reputation, trying to wear, again, we're talking about this feminine trying to fake out as if she's really this person's soulmate when she's not. Flexible, card 19 in the upright. In every relationship, it's important to be open to new experiences and learning new things. Letting go of rigidity is what's required right now. You don't always have to be right all the time, do you? It's okay to come to a happy compromise. You can still get your needs met. It's a beautiful day when you meet halfway. The appearance of this card in a reading could also signal that you have met someone new who may not be your type, but who will turn out to be so special that you can easily release your old ideas about what sort of partner is right for you. Be flexible. You'll be happy you made that choice. So that's interesting. Who's that for? Who are those messages for? It's important to be fair and stay open to what you're going to be finding out about this situation. It's important to be generous and kind and able to be flexible with what comes your way in this situation. It also could mean that somebody else is coming in and then you're going to have a choice to make about whether to be with this divine masculine or not. False narrative. Yeah, this karmic feminine group's energy is all over this fucking reading. It's like they can't let this masculine breathe, for one. And he's already figuring it out, but they're really trying, they won't loosen their grip. It's very ridiculous how I mean, they've been lying, they've been deceptive, they've really got this person trapped up. They've been sending out flying monkeys. They've been trying to avoid their karma. They're trying to avoid an ending of the relationship. They've been using lust magic to try to keep this person trapped. They've been all fucking over the place. Their energy is all over this reading. It's smothering. It's smothering. Really smothering. What's some advice for you? What should you do in this situation? What should the feminine do? I'm speaking to the feminine right now. What's advice for the feminine, divine feminine in this situation? Not these other parties that are trying to cloud and trap this masculine's life and mind and everything, right? Like, what's advice for the feminine here? 8 of Pentacles on the split, so just keep focused on your own work. Yeah, you have nothing to worry about. Your abundance is coming no matter what. Just focus on what you're manifesting for your own material abundance and security in your own life. That's your advice. Keep doing your work. Keep focusing on your own security, your own abundance, your own goals, your own happy home, right? You make a happy home. That's what you do. And focus on your material security and joy and happy home life and happy family. What's advice for this masculine who got himself caught up in this horrible group or whatever it is? I don't even know. What's his advice? He got himself mixed up with a super fake. Like a super fake. Divine Masculine's advice is to communicate on the split. It's the 8 of Wands. Do something to reach out, maybe to this feminine. Yeah, express your love. That's the advice for the Divine Masculine. He's worried. He's up in his head. He's worried that it's going to cause problems or you're not going to forgive him. He feels badly about what happened and that he hurt you, to the point that he's not making any moves. That's starting to break up, though. His advice is to communicate about his love. The 8 of Wands and love, and yours was the 8 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles. So you, 2 8s, like you both need to be in that 8 abundant energy, right? Today's the 6/6 portal. Maybe August, maybe the Lionsgate portal, August 8th, is going to have significance to this connection. What are some final messages about this situation? What are some final messages? Is this masculine succeeding and getting out of there? His advice is to tell you the truth about how he feels. Is this energy going in a good direction for you two as a couple? Is there hope for this twin flame connection with this true twin flame, not this fake karmic? Is there hope for this relationship? These are some final messages, and then I will get to User 369's question. Is there hope for this relationship? This person, this masculine was involved with a karmic feminine who is masquerading as you, basically. That comes out a lot, but it came out in the early part of the channeled message I was getting long before sitting down to do this reading. It's just that kind of imposter energy. Are things going to go in a good direction for this twin flame couple? Book. Books are portals that can take us to other worlds and let us inhabit the consciousness of the characters bound in their pages. But does the door open both ways? What or whom might we let in? Made manifest, a bad idea cannot be destroyed or denied. It will pop up again, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. What can you read between the lines? So, yeah, you might be in this expectation energy here where you're just waiting like this guy's never going to figure it out. So what can you read between the lines? Like, you must have some hunches that some of this is unfolding. So it's important for you to know that this is a confirmation of that. Face. Upright. At what cost are we concerned with the judgment and attention of others? Are we saving face for ourselves or for those close to us? Mirrors can be blackened, reflections averted, but we are who we are, and only by seeing ourselves truly can we be set free. Scars are earned, don't hide them. This gets right to the heart of that. And in fact, I remember I had my karmic feminine in my own life, right? Like in my own situation, this person that wanted to compete with me and would try to adopt aspects of me that she would try to just use parts of who I am to like advance her shit in a way that was creepy and not appreciated by me at all. It was beyond the like, I admire that person and I might implement some things, but it was like she tried to be me, basically. It wasn't very welcome to, as far as I was concerned. And I remember at one point she said something to me like, she has this voice that drives me crazy, but she would be like, I need to learn how to do that. Like, I think I should need to figure out how I can be more assertive and like stand up for myself more. And I need to be more like that. But it was in this way, like I already kind of pegged her to some degree as disingenuous or not sincere in the way that she behaved. And it aggravated me. And I remember being like, well, this didn't come naturally to me. I earned this over a lot of fucked up shit happening in my life. That's where I became give no fucks, take no prisoners kind of attitude, where I would stand up for myself and I stopped letting people walk all over me. And I remember kind of saying that, like, it didn't come easily. Like, I had to earn it. I had to work for it. And so that's a theme here, is that you earned your respect in your own life. You earned your identity, right? You are you, not this other person, okay? So that's what that is, right? And then hunger. This will be the last card, and then I'll answer some questions. Sometimes it may feel like everyone wants a piece of you. The appetites of others can limit your freedom, leading you to create personal barricades. But beware, a safe space can become as much a trap as a refuge if you don't take heed of whom you let inside. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't help others. So, yeah, it's not selfish to live the life that you're meant to live for you, because that's the best way that you can help other people, is by living your own truth. To thine own self be true, as they say, as they said in Hamlet anyways. So now I said that I would answer some questions. Let me just get this a little bit cleaned up here. And hi, legends. Looks like Legends has a question and user 369 had a question about their commercial business. So yeah, the cards that I pulled originally that I was like, it's going to seem like I did that on purpose, so I'm not going to leave these. It was Twin Flame, Karmic Feminine, you know, Commitment. It was everything that eventually came out, just in a different way, but it was the same. It's just funny. I love cards and how they work like that. Okay. All right. Okay, user 369. This is going to be your question about future trouble in your commercial endeavors, in your business. What does the near future look like for your business? Are there good things in place? Is there anything you need to watch out for? This is for user 369 and any concerns they have about their commercial situation. Are there any troubles in the future for the commercial business or finances? For user 369. What do they need to know about their situation? And I'm glad, it sounds like some of what I was reading on for you, user 369, some of the earlier messages resonated, so I'm glad for that as well. Actually, let me do this real quick. Let me do just a little bit more. Where are things heading commercially for user 369? Okay, so with this layout, I'm going to read how I normally read, which is that I don't read reversals, and this is what I'm seeing. There's somebody around you that doesn't want the best for you for your business. There's a theft energy present. So you might have had some worries that someone was, I don't know what kind of business you have, but this could look like somebody skimming off the till, someone taking a little bit off the top for themselves, right? It could be somebody stealing your work title, your work. It could look at like a number of things, but this is a thieving energy that's around you commercially. So this could be someone who's just straight up trying to steal your money out of your till, or again, trying to capitalize on your business name and not give you any of the proceeds or whatever. It could look a number of ways. You have the ability to create an incredible business. You're highly creative as a leader. You're also a pretty elevated leader. You're in King energy here. So you're an elevated and creative leader of your enterprise, of your business, whatever it is. And your work brings you a lot of joy. It brings you a lot of joy, and it's made you and will make you a very stable and secure reality for yourself, a real abundance where you don't have to work so hard. Okay, that's in the facts position, but that doesn't mean that there hasn't been a thief around you or some type of theft of your material world here, okay? But regardless of that, you're still in this kind of Queen of Pentacles energy. So this is a really positive omen for your business. It says to me that you really don't have much to worry about. that you're generating a lot of abundance for yourself out of this work. And it's work that you truly love, and it's work that you're gifted at. You might even do a business with your partner. You might have like, you might be part of a couple and you're in business together. But what I was originally taking this to mean is that these are two aspects of you, that you've generated a really good business for yourself and that you're highly creative and masterful at what you do. Okay. Regarding this theft, someone betrayed you financially, it looks like here. You really had to surrender to whatever happened. Someone may have ripped off your business, or you had a close loved one steal from you in your business. I'm not exactly sure, but in the vulnerability position is a betrayal. And because you were asking me about your business, I'm assuming it had to do with your money or someone stealing your creative ideas at work. I don't know. In any case, though, you're on the threshold of a new endeavor or a new beginning or a new start. Like maybe you're going to take what's left after someone stole from you in your business and start something new that's even better. And if you're a King of Wands, you're a master creator. You're good at doing that. It's almost like if someone's going to come and steal and imitate from your ideas, you'll just move on to the next and create something even better. And then the people who were stealing from you, all ideas look stale all of a sudden because you've already moved on to doing something even better, right? I remember saying that a while back about my hater and the people that were kind of trying to steal my ideas and my look and my mannerisms and my way of being. I was like, go ahead and steal that if you want. I'll just move into the next and do something even better. You're never going to be able to keep up with me. And that's what I'm picking up here from you, is that even if someone is stealing from you, while it might make you indignant and offend your ethics and your sensibilities, the truth of the matter is that you can just create something even better. Not that I'm saying that means you should let yourself be stolen from. You shouldn't. You should take steps to protect your work, like get it copyrighted, or be really selective about who you're hiring if you're hiring workers or whatever, right? Like you don't want thieves around you in your business. You need to have people around you can trust. Your strength in this situation, and this is for, again, for user 369, is that you know how to get down and fight if you have to. You weren't born yesterday. You're not a fool. You're not naive. You have an acquaintance with the shadow side of doing business. And when you sense that someone's stealing from you, what they didn't realize is that they're stealing from the devil. Okay, right? I say that with affection and with respect. You know how to do your commercial work to the degree that if someone's going to be shady and betray you, they didn't realize who they were messing with, okay? They fucked with the wrong person is what this is saying. This is your strength. They messed with the devil. They should not have messed with someone who's this integrated with their devil inside, right? Yeah, exactly. It's good. They're fools thinking that they could mess with you. So this devil within you has also able to tell you need to tighten up ship. You need to get really clear about who's going to be allowed into your business world and ideas and who needs to go. You're way past, like you're very comfortable doing that. Like saying you get the axe, you get to stay, and it doesn't have to be an employee situation. It also just means like who's in your life or not, who gets let in on your ideas. You're very comfortable, and your inner little devil is saying cut ties with some people here because these people have fucked you over one too many times and they played with the devil and they need to be shown, right? Basically, that's what your shadow side is saying. In your conscious mind, you know that you have a ton of ideas. You have a ton of good ideas. You have a ton of creative vision. You may also be getting good news coming in addition to maybe some upsetting news that you were betrayed in your work. Now you have good news coming in, and you're going to have all kinds of options for your work going forward. So these little thieves that betrayed you are the ones that are going to be in tears, okay? They fucked with the wrong person. It's really clear here that whoever betrayed you chose wrong. They thought maybe they were choosing someone who was too trusting or I don't know what, but they chose wrong. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's important that you know that there are some people around you that don't have good intention for you and your business or your finances. That if you don't know what I'm speaking about here. If you do, then great. But if you don't, let this reading tell you that you need to take stock of everybody around you that has access to your money or your business or your ideas, and go with your gut. Really go inside and figure out, like, can I really trust this person or not? Because there's a major betrayal showing up here. So I hope that's helpful to you. Thank you for letting me read for you. I appreciate it. And then I saw someone else had a question. Where did that go? Someone asked me a question. Hi, Tammy. Shoot, I wonder if they deleted their comment. Yeah, someone asked me a question and then I guess they deleted it. So now I can't remember what. Gosh, is that right? Yeah, darn it. Oh well, I'm sorry I missed your question. I was gonna ask for you, but that's okay. So I don't think I have too much else. I'll just pull maybe some tiles here to see if any names come out for that imposter energy that was coming through here. Any more information having to do with that, having to do with the situation in general. Charm. So we were speaking about magic and black magic and a dark priest in that reading, and here's the word charm. So that's definitely in play. There was a karmic feminine that used charm work and glamour work in order to fool the masculine. So they were very good at it. If that's the first word that came out here, it indicates to me that they were good at that initially, but they have been. He's on to it now, is what it's saying. Yes. Yes, he is on to it. Yes, it's a confirmation of what I just said. Oh God, I'm getting stiff, really stiff sitting here. I don't know how much longer I can sit. Tow, like a tow truck. Low. Ben. Brat. Wart, like a witch and a charm. There's definitely witching work. Blob. I don't know. RN. Someone might be a nurse. Jared is a name. Jasenia. LBJ, that's interesting. That's a former US president. chum, rue, which is a witching herb. Lots of witchcraft coming through. Okay, I literally cannot sit here anymore. My legs are really in pain. I'm just not cut out for sitting on the floor anymore. Well, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you all being here and checking out my work. I've been trying to post every day, but I don't, obviously. There's sometimes I don't even post every 5 days. I'm trying to get better about it. But anyways, I don't know what I'm even going into that for. Thank you for being here. I will see you in the next one, and have a good one. Oh, God. Ouch.